The Man Cave Chronicles with Elias. Trevor, thank you for joining me today on press day.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm a little disappointed. I don't see a wrestling shirt on you.
No, I wore I Like Coffee and maybe three people. It was a gift for my in-laws, but I've got a wonderful collection of wrestling tumblers on the shelf behind me.
There you go. Because I was telling people I was going to talk to you today. They're like, "Oh, he's going to have a wrestling shirt on." I'm like, "Oh, we'll see." But
That is the Rock's tequila behind me too. So
there you go. So we have Letterkenny. The final season's finally here. I was just talking to Andrew and Tyler, and I was, I watched the last season, and it's a sad ending.
Oh yeah.
If you're a huge fan, you get sucked into these shows, and it's like, it's finally over. There's always hopes for a couple episodes down the road or a movie and everything. But like, what are you hoping for when the viewers, the diehard fans, tune in? What do you hope to get out of this last season?
I hope that they're satisfied by the wrap up. That they walk away, happy with what they saw, knowing that the characters are there. If they ever need to go back to them, that they're there. But that that we took them on a journey, and that they're somewhat satisfied with how we finished it. It's not goodbye. It's so long for now.
Uh, you mentioned the word journey. Squirrely Dan's journey throughout these seasons. How would you describe that?
I mean, it was a real change. Squirrely Dan started off as a recovering cocaine addict who had, spent his younger years getting into all kinds of problems, and ended up as a student of women's studies, expanding his horizons, trying to become a better version of himself. And I think Squirrely Dan is a character I'm very proud to have played, to have helped bring to life. And I hope people learn a lot from Squirrely Dan, that you can be, salt of the earth, work with your hands, tough as nails, never back down from a fight kind of guy. But you can also be sensitive and kind and caring, and work on yourself, and step outside of your comfort zone, and try new things and become a better version of you.
No, I said you mentioned the word connecting everything through all these seasons and everything. Like every day when you were on set, how did you prepare yourself to connect with this character to get into this role?
It was real easy to slip into that character. Every time I put on the overalls, it really just came into place there, and the character was never that far away. Once I found his voice in season one, it was always easy to get back into it. The hard part was to stop talking like him afterwards. I mean, it would always be a couple weeks after we wrapped on a season that I would, my wife would catch me danning up my regular conversation with her.
Mm. What are you gonna miss about Dan?
Um, I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss seeing where he's going and what he's doing, and watching him grow as a person. And mostly, I'm gonna miss going to summer camp with my friends, and hanging out, having fun, and having all those laughs that we used to have.
Mm. How about a Squirrely Dan spinoff? Would you be all for that?
If the script and idea was right, I'd be quite willing to climb into those overalls all over again. I think maybe Squirrely Dan and Alexander could go on a road trip together, follow indie wrestling around.
There you go. The last episode, at the did you get a chance to watch the last episode?
I did, yeah.
Okay, like the ending with reflecting the journey and the memories through all these characters and everything. What went through your mind when you saw that part?
It was like seeing all those places empty. We never saw those places empty. There was a ton of crew, ton of cast, ton of people. Whenever we were at those locations, it was teeming with people. So there was something haunting about seeing them all empty. And actually, Kiso never told us about the four Gus that was going to be at the end. And Gus was Kiso's dog, and kind of our mascot for a long time there. He'd pop into the show every now and again, and was oftentimes the most present actor on the screen. And we lost Gus during the run of the show, and that for me really, I kept it all together right until I saw Four Gus, and then I got all. That's when I started getting all weepy. That's that's the one that punched me right in the feels.
Yeah. Last question. Favorite line or joke in the series that always sticks with you?
Um, I said it a few times today. The very first ad lib I ever did on a Letterkenny set was, "Here's a tip: it's really hard to get tuna out of your dick hole." And that was also the first time I made the camera shake, and that sort of became the measuring stick for if you can get the cameraman to laugh so hard he ruins the shot.
Right.
Then that's about as funny as you could be on the show. So I'll always be very proud of being the first one to shake the camera.
Amazing. Trevor, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today on press day. This was great.
Oh, thanks for having me.